organize it. I just really wanted to film in this room again because I kind of want to see my progress in terms of lighting and whatnot, and camera settings, and all that. I kind of forgot how uncomfortable filming here is because I have to be slouched down. It's okay. So today I'm gonna do a whispered ramble / story time. I really wanted to talk about some random stories, choose a topic and talk about it. I think I'm gonna do these videos more often, just because usually, I want to film a story time, but I think it wouldn't be long enough, and I also want to film whispered rambles, but usually there's not that much going on, so that I would have a full, at least 20-minute long video. So I'm kind of going to combine it a little bit. I also brought iced tea. I really wanted to bring a drink, and last time I did a whispered ramble, I had cider and alcohol, and I just didn't want to do it today. Also, I'm going to be talking about some stories from camp when I was really young, so it's not really that fitting. So yeah. So I actually am slightly planning on making a booktube channel, and I thought about this for a very, very long time. And also I'm kind of making a set, a permanent set, or more background for those videos that I can actually use in ASMR as well. And I really want the set to represent me, be very personal. I think when it comes to ASMR and whatnot, I've been feeling a little bit not detached, because that's not the right word, but I feel like you can't see a lot of my personality in ASMR. It's just because it's a really toned down version of me, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's kind of normal, when it comes to ASMR, you have to be, calm and quiet to make people fall asleep. And I would keep making ASMR videos, of course, and I would make a booktube channel on the side and not really pressure myself to make a lot of videos. It would just be a nice project that I will post videos on from time to time. Honestly, I don't think I can set up a schedule just yet, because I wouldn't have time to post 2 videos a week on this channel and then maybe 1 video a week on that channel. I think it would be just impossible. So yeah, I don't know when I'm gonna make the channel, if I'm honest. Right now it's just, I do have a couple of ideas and whatnot, and I do have some books that I want to talk about and all that, but it's so different to ASMR that, I take my time to really plan it and kind of do it right. I don't want to make the same mistakes as I did with my ASMR channel, because I did make quite a few mistakes. I will talk about this more when I will do my 100th video, and I might talk about what I would change if I would start an ASMR channel again. And also I've been kind of split, because on one hand I want to do a really lo-fi videos on my booktube channel, no crazy production. When it comes to ASMR, I think there's more production than you realize, really. Well, maybe in every video. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe in every video can be really produced and a regular viewer would notice, but I kind of want to chill with my booktube channel, use that knowledge, that like filming and lighting knowledge. So I don't know what I'm gonna do, you know. I still have time to think about it. So yeah, so there's like one thing that I wanted to talk about. Also, I'm a little bit afraid of making that channel because when it comes to YouTube and BookTube, I feel like it's super easy to just start making videos that will get a lot of views, that will go viral, you know, videos that are about newer books, that are about really popular books, and that's not like, I mean, of course I would do some like videos like that, but I'm a little bit afraid that I would just, you know, not really do videos that I want. Yeah, we'll see about that. Also, I'm using like this moon lamp in the background, and I just noticed that there's like a shadow moving in the back for some reason. I don't know why. Well, I do know I'm using a lot of lighting today. A lot of desk lamps, to be exact. I hope it's not too annoying. I did notice that in the background. I just don't really feel like you know, doing everything again. Like all lighting again, I mean. Okay. So, I think that's really all I wanted to talk about for the Whispered Ramble part. I do have some exciting videos coming up. I do have like some cool ideas for role plays actually, and I'm a little afraid of making them because when it comes to role plays, I'm a little awkward. So I do have like some cool ideas. I think that people like them, but I don't know, I keep pushing those like ideas, you know, till later. We'll see about that. I want to make like a fortune teller. I also wanted to make a video related to like book characters or like TV show characters. I feel like maybe I'm just not watching like the right videos, but there's not a lot of characters from books when it comes to roleplays, and I think it would be really cool to have that. I kind of wanted to do like Alina roleplay from Shadow and Bone. Like, Alina gives you light or something stupid like that. But I'm a little afraid. I have no idea how to do cosplay. I'm bad at makeup. Like, it's probably a terrible idea. And also, I'm a little uncomfortable dressing up as other people and like making certain features look more like them, if you know what I mean. I don't know. It's a struggle. Not really, but okay, so now let's talk about the camp stories. And originally I was planning on making a video only about one camp that I've been to, but actually I remembered that I've been to 2 camps in my life. And one of them, the first one that I'll talk about, wasn't like a real camp. I wasn't really sleeping in that camp. My parents would always pick me up late in the afternoon. I was 10 years old when I was in that camp. And then on the second camp, I think I was 12, and it was a horse camp. And I do have some like weird ass stories from those. So let's start with the first camp that I've been to, which was a camp at a zoo. So basically the premise of the camp was that you go into the camp and you take care of animals at the zoo the whole day. And I'm a big animal lover. Especially, you know, when I was 10 years old, I wanted to be a vet. That has changed when I grew up, but, you know, at 10 years old, I really wanted to just, like, take care of animals and, like, you know, Jessie. So Jessie was a very cool girl. Like, she was the it girl. I think she was like a year older than me, which will make sense actually, because in like middle school most kids were a year older than me. So she was like the it girl kind of, and I still remember her when we were sitting in like a circle in that camp, and she was just like asking everybody, like, have you ever kissed a boy? And we were 10, right, or 11, and I was just like, well, not really, but I didn't want to admit that, so I was just like, yeah, I guess. Obviously it was a lie. I was 10. I did not care about other gender at all, you know, or about, yeah, I didn't care, just, yeah, about dating. So, and she was just like, oh, I've kissed a boy with tongue. And like, now that I think about it, she was 11. Like, girl, where are your parents, you know? Why are you doing that stuff? Like, that's how you end up pregnant at like the age of 13, but no shame, no judgment, kind of. She was interesting. She was like an interesting person. She was like the girl that, you know, believed that she was the main character. God, why am I like so, you know, like, I feel like I'm very like cruel to her right now. She was a kid. She probably has changed. I feel like I'm too harsh on her. Well, I didn't like her a lot. So one day, this is like the main story, this is where I'm going with this. She was just like, I'm going to summon a demon at the zoo camp. And I think I said this in one of my old videos, but back in the days, like 10 years ago, like roughly, it was a trend to summon ghosts and demons. Why? I don't know. Actually, there was this very popular magazine back in the day. I think they're still publishing that magazine actually. And you would always find stories like, this is how he summoned a ghost and this is how it went. Those kind of stories. So I think the magazine kind of made it really popular amongst like really young kids, which I don't know. When it comes to that stuff, I would rather just stay away. I was never a fan of that, because like, even if you're not a believer in that stuff, I don't know if I believe in it, but at the same time I don't really want to mess with it, right? So she was just like, I'm gonna summon a demon in the camp toilets, which they were really nice toilets, by the way. The other camp that I'm gonna talk about, they didn't even have like toilets, so this camp, they had really nice toilets, and she went in with 2 of her friends and they summoned a demon. I wasn't present. I didn't want to be present. I wasn't this girl's friend anyway, so like, there was no point. And they were fully convinced that it didn't work. They were just like, oh, nothing really happened. But then later on they were like, oh, we heard some steps in the bathroom. Until this day, I don't know if they were just joking, if nothing actually happened, if they just wanted to scare other people in the camp, other kids, or if they actually heard some steps. Well, as I was changing, I was almost finished, and I heard these really, really loud steps, and it was just like at first, and then it was like. By the way, there were tiles at the bathroom, so I was hearing somebody stepping on the tiles. It wasn't just like somebody from outside, and I freaked out. And so I looked, from the stool, I opened the door and I looked outside into like the mini hallway. I guess I should mention this was like a separate building that just had toilets in them basically, and there was like a mini hallway, in the building that led to separate toilets. So I looked and there was nobody, and I was obviously very scared, but I was like, I need to finish, changing, so I've put all my clothes on, and then as I was leaving, I heard like the steps just going extremely close to me. It was just like if somebody was right behind me. Oh my god, I don't know, till this day I don't know what the hell that was, but I just ran out. I sprinted out of the bathroom and I was like running towards the girl, which she wasn't even my friend, but I didn't care. I was just like, there is somebody in the toilet, like there is a demon, like you summoned a demon there. And she was just like, oh, don't worry about it, it's just footsteps, which like I don't know. She was an interesting girl, by the way. And I think she went into the toilet, and I think she actually heard the steps too, along with her two friends. And they were like, oh my god, we actually summoned a demon. And they were like really proud of it, which, I don't know, like, the camp overall wasn't that great. Yeah, overall it was just, I don't know, it was a big disappointment really. And I think only once we actually went to the zoo to take care of animals, when we cleaned a bear's cage. Obviously when the bears were locked up, and the way we would clean it is just that we would pick up branches and put them away. So yeah, that was it really. I forgot to say the name of our team. We were called Zebra Men. So like you have Superman, we were like, one person was Zebra Man, and then the team as a whole was called Zebra Man. And we actually made shirts with that name and with a zebra, and I still have the shirt somewhere. Maybe I will find it, maybe I will look for it. I can't believe that I actually found the shirt. So can you see like the zebra? As you can see, I don't have much of a artistic talent, but there you go. Okay, now I'm gonna talk about the second camp. I remember my friend was trying to convince horses, so we would actually be with the horses, because otherwise we were just playing games at the camp and whatnot. And it was also Harry Potter themed, and for some reason, so we made our own wands, and like the leaders of the camp would be sometimes dressed as Dementors when we were going on like a walk. Sometimes they would attack us. They were wearing raincoats and they were just throwing like these tiny white balls at us. And if you got hit with the ball, some points were deducted from the team's points. So I actually don't remember how our team was called. God. Oh, Monique's army. I remembered. God, I just unlocked some memories that I thought that they're very like hidden. Yeah, our leader names was Monique. There you go. So, sometimes you can get points for, let's just say, like playing games. What else? Cleaning. Yeah, stuff like that. Oh, this is actually like, now that I think about it, every single day they would raid our hut and the cleanliness of our hut. I forgot to say this, but they were like really, really tiny huts that had 4 beds. 2 like bunk beds on each side, so technically for 4 people. There was no electricity in that hut, so when it got dark, that was it. We were always using flashlights, and the hut itself was pretty dirty, just from the look of it. Like sometimes when you have really an old place, it just gets dirty on its own, if you know what I mean. But also, we had a lot of stuff, and we kind of cluttered the tiny hut as well, which, by the way, if you have 4 people on like 2 square meters, okay, not 2 square meters, 5 square meters, which, by the way, if you're gonna have 4 people on 5 square meters and all their belongings, inevitably it will be cluttered. Well, every single day they would rate how clean our hut was, and you could get from 0 points to 10 points. And the absolute worst was what they're called aircraft day. And aircraft day meant that it was so cluttered that the leaders would just throw your stuff outside, like all of your stuff outside. And every single day we had an aircraft day. So basically that meant that the things would like fly because they would throw them out, right? And now that I think about it, like most of the time we had like the aircraft day and the leaders would always throw our stuff out, which like how of a loser do you have to be to like throw kids' stuff every single day out? And we were the only hut they did this to. So now that I think about it, because usually at least like they would rate, with like 2 points or like 5 points the other huts. Even if we had our huts clean, it would be like an aircraft day, which like I don't know. The leaders were like 16, 17, 18, I think. So they were not that older from us, maybe 20. Yeah, anyways, I don't even know where I was going with this. Yes, we could get points from that. And overall it was just like horrible. Like the whole camp was just bad. I was bored all the time. And there were no toilets. I remember we had to go up this rock. And like basically we had to climb this rock to go to a toilet, which wasn't even like a proper toilet. It was just like, what's it called? A dry toilet. I don't think that's the like proper word. Like a loo. somebody actually fell into the lake, I have no idea what the leaders would have done. I think the person would just drown. And also we were walking like near this cliff, which, now that I think about it, like, that was a bad idea. Like, kids could have fallen down. Like, I was 12, but we had kids way younger than that, like 8 years old, 7 years old. That was dangerous, like, now that I think about it, but nothing happened. Once a kid got lost. I remember that a boy got lost in the woods and people were looking for them. But overall, I don't know, it was pretty bad. Then I remember that my teeth started to hurt badly, and so I had to go to the dentist. My parents picked me up and I went to the dentist, and when I came back I stayed home for a little bit before I had to go back to the camp, and I was just crying and crying, like I didn't want to go back. It was in the middle of the camp, it was like day 7, I think. I was just not having it anymore, and yeah, I still remember till this day that my father was just like, don't let them know that you cried because they will think you're weak, which, like, I don't know, it was pretty, maybe bad advice, I don't know. I don't know if that wasn't really good advice, but I think it really stuck with me in my teenage years as well. Until this day, like, I never cry in front of people, and even if I cried, I always, you know, just kind of put myself together. I just don't want anybody to know that I cried. I think that advice really stuck with me a lot. Yeah, because it was just like, you have to be strong, you have to, you know. I forgot to say that there were 3 girls in the hut, you know, me, my 2 friends, and this one other girl, and we became kind of friends, sort of, but she was not really like my type of person. I still remember that she would always spit like really loudly, and oh, actually I was writing letters home, and so my parents saved those letters, and then years later I was reading them, and it was actually pretty funny because it was just like, oh, today, wait, I have to come up with a fake name. Oh, today Sophie was just spitting all over the camp again, and like it's actually pretty funny now when I was reading it as an adult, because you can see that I was just like not having it, you know, like the whole camp. Yeah, I'm not much of a camp person. I never was. I never will. I always get bored. I feel like now it's a bit different because like kids are kind of used to having Wi-Fi all the time, and they would be even more bored. Like back in the days, we had obviously no Wi-Fi. We didn't even have like smartphones. God, I feel old. Yeah. So I think that will be it for this video, really. I'm sorry it was kind of negative. I did have some good times as well. I was riding horses for the first time and last time as well. But it was fun. It was dangerous, but it was fun. My friend, she loved horses, and you know, she wanted to become a vet, and she did actually become one. And she was riding horses like regularly. She had a lot of broken legs, broken arms. So if you can ride a horse, I respect you, because I can't. We had 2 horses in the camp. I kind of want to end this on like a more positive note. So we had 2 horses. One of them was called Mate. I still remember the names. And the other one was called a Dragon. And the dragon was a pony. And Pony was also not having it. Like, we had like the same personality almost. Dragon would just, if somebody was riding Dragon, he would just like knock them off. Like, he was aggressive a lot, and so they wouldn't allow kids, like inexperienced kids, ride the Dragon. But I remember was riding dragon, and we actually kind of clicked. Like everybody was just like, oh, like dragon is weirdly tamed. I think we both sensed that, you know, we hated it, so we kind of made an alliance. And yeah, to me, like dragon was really nice. To other kids, he would just like, you know, stomp them, or like, you know, he was dangerous. Like they would not allow dragon like near small kids at all. So yeah, I wonder if, you know, the horses, I think if, you know, they're quite old at the time, I wonder like what happened to them as well. Overall, I don't know, I do have some like good memories from the camp. But I'm not gonna lie, it was just not for me, you know. Even though technically like people that grew up in my area, I grew up in like the suburbs slash like rural area. It's more of like suburbs. A lot of my friends, they are very like outdoorsy and stuff. I never was like that. I like to stay inside,